Hi, I'm 𝗦𝗛𝗥𝗘, Chair of Peter's Ponderings Ministry. This is a ministry initiated by volunteers. We hope to bring biblical and inspirational perspectives on life. Our vision is to instill courage, provoke thinking, and extend God's love in our world. If you have been blessed, we encourage you to sow into this ministry so that we can bless more people. Below are the ways that you can give.
As we stand at the threshold of a new year, we can honestly wish others a happy new year without the blasé feeling that it is a meaningless felicitation. Especially at this time, it would be a hopeful wish after 2 years of devastation to lives and livelihoods by a sneaky virus. If God's people can demonstrate outrageous and contagious joy, we would be irresistible. Because joy brings good things with it, like enthusiasm for life, determination to hang in there, and the ability to encourage others. Such attributes make life's journey bearable when we hit the open seas and encounter high waves of hardship that tend to demoralize and paralyze. When we face challenges in life, there is nothing that can shore up our depleting strength more than a joyful attitude. When the late Mother Teresa was asked what the requirements were to work alongside her on the grimy streets of Calcutta, she replied without hesitation that there were only 2 criteria: hard work and a joyful attitude. Joy is an internal positivity that is connected to hope. It is the feeling that life's equilibrium would be restored, that everything will turn out well. With joy, you don't have to put on a happy face. You can be joyful in the midst of the toughest situations. There are at least 2 reasons for deep, soul-rocking, and outrageous joy. The first is the vitality of critical relationships. Vibrant relationships are indispensable to happiness. When we cannot get along with others, we are alienated and we end up lonely. Without friends, we will not be able to celebrate our successes and we will not get any comfort in times of distress. In his letter to the Philippians, Paul says, "In my prayers for you, I always pray with joy because of your partnership in the gospel. I have you in my heart. All of you share in God's grace with me." His memory of his friends in Philippi made him smile. Recalling experiences with friends brought him joy. Obviously, not everyone was on friendly terms with Paul. He even had bitter splits with those he had worked closely with previously. We remember the sharp disagreement with Barnabas that resulted in the parting of company. We do not know that they were ever reconciled. Yet, towards the end of his life, Paul could recall happy memories. He was not beset by regrets. He did not bear grudges in his heart. He could release those who had hurt him and perhaps even bless them as they went separate ways. He focused on fulfilling his calling, shook off all encumbrances, and was filled with joy even when he was nearing life's end. It is not realistic to expect perfectly harmonious relationships in our fallen existence. But the malevolence or ill-intended actions of others need not provoke bitterness and resentment in us. We will only end up joyless in life. It is like choosing snapshots to file in our photo albums. We can either choose recollections of pain that will rob our happiness, or we can consciously freeze-frame experiences that bring joy in the albums of our memories. Good memories of relationships, past and present, are nourishment for joy. The second reason for joy in Paul's heart is his confidence in God. He writes, "Being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." God works out His purposes from the start of our lives to its conclusion. And His work in our lives, begun at birth and completed at death, are good. Paul reminds us elsewhere that we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. It is this confidence that God is in control in all circumstances in life that can bring joy in our hearts. Existential joy robbers are worry, stress, and fear. Worry is the acute anxiety that something may or may not happen. It replaces joy instantly and eats away at our sense of well-being until we become total psychological wrecks. Stress is extreme strain over something that is outside of our control, or the emotional response we make to overloaded senses, capacities, or time. Fear is our response to the unnerving threat of the presence of danger, evil, or pain. It drains our energy into anticipating the worst possible outcome and haunts us till we are so debilitated that it is impossible to live, much less flourish, in the present. To return to joy, there must be a quiet but strong confidence that God is in control from the genesis of our lives to its conclusion. He works to fulfill His purposes, and nothing can derail that. King David, in his distress while surrounded by enemies, prayed, "Desperate, I throw myself on you. You are my God. Hour by hour, I place my days in your hand." Relinquishing control of my life to God is the first step to trust in God. Interpreting the words of Moses in verse, Isaac Watts penned in 1708, "O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast, and our eternal home." As we start a new year, we can be confident God will work out His purposes from the beginning to the end of our lives. He has provided reminders of His providence in the people around us. This confidence will bring joy to our hearts and a spring to our steps. Every recollection of joy bears witness to God's sovereignty and provision. This, in turn, evokes confidence in God. Good reasons to believe it will be a happy new year. As Nehemiah reminds us, "The joy of the Lord is my strength." May you be overwhelmed by joy that is a bastion of strength for the new year. Happy New Year!
Thank you for watching this short video. We hope you have been blessed. This is a question for this session for you to ponder and to discuss with your group.